Hi, Internet viewers. We are back on the goldfinch again, and if everybody was following me and got it all done, all of the mantle is now burned in using that technique I was showing you before, where you go on the leading edge, plunge in with your burning pen, and then lift as you come out. And you flare to the right and flare to the left, and that's what you end up with. Now, this is an exploded view of a lot of these because these are smaller. But what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you how to mark out your primaries and secondaries, and we got some tertiaries there, and we have some coverts too. So we'll get all that on, and I'll show you how to do that as well. Just want to let you know that if anybody is interested in doing this project, I do have kits available. I do have a catalog, and I have other birds that I've done in other videos as well, and animals. So if you would like to get some of my patterns, I also sell equipment as far as Fordhams or the micro grinders, the rams. I have bits, and I have brushes, paints, you name it, I have it. And if I don't have it, I'll put you on to the right direction to get them. And just wanted to let you know that. And if you need to get a hold of me to get a hold of these, you need my catalog basically. And you can get that if you give me your email address and write to me at my email address, which is Rauscher, R-A-U-S-C-H-E-R, Frank, F-R-A-N-K, 7@gmail.com. And once I get your email, I can electronically send that right out to you, and then you can make your selection. And if you want to contact me again for payment or yeah, just had a brain, you know what. If you need any questions about the information or the kits or anything that I have, I'll gladly try to guide you. And if you're going for bits for the first time, you only need like 3 or 4 of them, and you could do a lot with just those. So it's not like you got to buy a whole slew of them, okay? And if you have a Dremel, you could use that. You don't always need the micro grinders that I have, but they're spoilers. You start using them, you'll end up with one for sure. That seems to be the case for the years I had taught. I ran 4 classes a week, and mostly everybody that used the machines bought them because they're just a popular item. So, and the other thing I'd ask you, if you would, if you're enjoying my videos as we go, I would ask you to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And if you have any friends or groups of carvers that you may know that may be interested in wanting to do some realistic birds or animals or what, if you could put them onto my channel, I'd appreciate that greatly. It really helps on my numbers, okay? So I'm going to move the camera down so you can follow me, and we will start drawing feathers on here, and then I'll show you where to go from there, okay? So bear with me. Okay, we're back again. We had established this mantle edge, and if you were following me, you would have gotten all this mantle burned in from the last video. And we have this edge right here, which is our mantle edge coming all the way around. For those who have the patterns and are following it, this is the edge I'm talking about. This is where your actual feathers, these are the mantle feathers up here, but this area right in here is your mantle. and we're going to start developing all this, okay? We're not going to do the tail just yet, but we're going to get these feathers in here, and I'm going to give you some measurements for that. So the one thing you want to make sure that you have established still, or get it back in there, is the center line. You have that center line coming right down through the body of the bird here, as we established right from the beginning. And you also should have it like it's on the underneath side too as well. We had done that early in the game. Now, what I'm going to ask you to do is measure from the center out 1/8 of an inch and put a dot, and 1/8 of an inch and put a dot. And once you do that, what we're going to do is I'm going to give you measurements on how to put these groups of feathers in, okay? And here's how we go about doing it. So the 1/8 out is going to be this feather right here we're going to start developing. And it starts right here at this 1/8 of an inch off of the center, and we're going to come down. So if you measure down from the mantle, you have 3/8 from here down to here. So if you came in and laid your ruler and get like a perpendicular line going through the center here, 3/8 down, like so, you would now have, what you want to do is we're going to get this feather in, and this feather, as far as the width, is about 1/4 of an inch wide. So from here, I'm coming down and I'm angling out. It's not following the center line. It's moving this way, just slightly. So I'm coming around here. I turn the feather around and I stop right here, because we have another feather we're going to have to put in up here. So you don't want to have this go connecting back. This feather here is actually, these feathers in front of it are going to be on top, and this will be on the bottom. So that stops right there. If you want to do the same thing on the other side, you're doing it the same way. You're 1/8 of an inch over, you come down, you touch that 3/8 line, and then come back up. And what we're doing on one side, you're doing on the other, okay? So you have that and that. Now, let's establish this grouping here. There's a group right off of this feather, which is on top. I'm going to measure out from the center. It's going to be from here, where it touches the mantle, 1/4 of an inch. So it's double this space. This is 1/8, and then you're going 1 more 1/8, and you put a dot there. And the width of this first feather up here is about 3/16. So here's what we do. Follow me here. I'm going to go from this dot down, around, and up. This width is 3/16. And you're going to ask me, what's that length? The length right now is 3/16. Okay. Now, there's a whole grouping coming all the way down here, and I'm going to give you a measurement like this. I'm going to come out from this feather, or from this mantle line. I'm going to measure out 1/4 of an inch like this. I'm just going to come along this is the mantle edge here, okay? I'm going to lay the ruler here. I'm going to put a dot right here. I'm going to come down a little bit further and put another dot. So I'm going to come off of this feather that we just drew in here, this small one. I'm going to come in and I'm going to swing an arc all the way down to about there. That will set up this grouping that I need to do in here, okay? Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to come along and I'm going to go about, a little more than 1/8 of an inch, and I'm going to follow on the same feather. I'm going to draw like another one that looks like it piggybacks right off of that one. Then I'm going to come down and duplicate that again, same direction, and I'm turning as I hit that little arc we made to drop down. So I'm going to do another one. So you have the 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 5, 6, and the last one's 7 right here. Okay, so that 1/4 of an inch out was that band you were putting down, and your direction for the feather is all the same as you're coming down. You're not going to the edge of the wing, and this is the wing edge that we had developed. I'm going to show you what we do there too. Now, from this corner where the mantle stopped, or started, I should say, and the wing goes down here, I want you to measure right from this point up here down 1 inch, and you put a dot right down here. This is on the edge of the wing, okay? And I'm going to come in and I'm going to make a feather that's going to touch this last feather we just drew here and this one, this wing edge. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to go, let's see, right here. I'm going to turn. This feather here is about, in length, about 3/8. So from here to here, it's 3/8 long. And this is going to swing around and join up with the edge of the wing. So that's that feather. Then you're going to come back, looks like about 3/16 from this feather back here, put a dot, and I'm going to swing this right around. Then I'm going to do the same thing again, 3/16, and swing it, sort of off the reservation there. Let me pull that back. There we go. And then we have one more, which gets us to 1 full inch from here to here. Okay? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 feathers. All right? Now, I'm going to concentrate on one side, and then we'll do the other side. It's very same, but we're going to do it that way. Now, we have the start of your grouping here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then there's a bunch of them going down. We did this one up here. Now, we're going to do this and continue this down. So I'm going to give you a measurement off of this feather down, and that is, looks like 5/16. So from here to here, you can measure and put a dot. Now, I'm going to start my new feather a little in on from this feather, not the outside, but just in here. So I'm going to start this arc, come through that 5/16 we have, turn, and then I'm coming up like this. Okay, so that's about about 1/8 of an inch off of that one. Then I'll take another measurement from that feather we just drew, and from here to here, it's about 3/16, and I put a dot there. Now I'm going to come in. If you notice, this one's moving this way. So there's almost like a line of action going this way for these. But this one is kicking in a little bit now. So this is coming around, going through 3/16, and then it's going to be about 1/8 of an inch off of the last one, and we draw that one in like so. And it may take you some practice, so you can put these in light and then come in and heavy them up afterwards, so you don't do a heck of a lot of erasing. If you put it in heavy, then you got to try to erase lines out. So just put them in light in the beginning, and then put them in heavy once you got everything permanent. What I mean by heavy is darken it. Okay. And if you notice, I have these on here, but I'm darkening them as we go now. Now the next one is about 1/8 of an inch down, and I'm piggybacking off of this one, like here, and turning. And then I'm at 1/8 of an inch off of that, and I come down, around. If you noticed, all these in this grouping are all going in the same direction, okay? And not doing other things. So now there's a grouping in here, and this is how I handle it. They're 1/8 of an inch apart, so I come in here, down 1/8 of an inch from this one, come up, and then I spin this one right into that last one we put in. Then I'm going to come down another 1/8 of an inch, put this one in, and spin that one in there. If you notice, it's getting shorter as it comes. It's not all the way out to here. It just sort of piggybacks and pulls short of the last feather. Okay, then we do it again, and then we do it again, 1/8 of an inch, and then the last one just tucks in with this grouping here. So there you go. Now you got this grouping and this grouping in. Now, here's where this feathering really starts crisscrossing. This is like a cross swing where the one's laying on top of the other. And that's what we're establishing here now. So I'm going to ask you, and here's another trick. Like I was showing you here, I came in and made a perpendicular line across, and if I drew a line between here and here, light line, real light line, that sets up the tangent point for that one and that one. If you want to, for the next grouping on the other side, you can come in, you can set that up, and you can put that one in. I could see I didn't get that one exactly right. And then for the next one, and you want to make sure they're perpendicular, you got a line coming across there. They're real light lines, just to give you some guidance on how long they are on this side when we go to do that. Now, this one here is going to go off on an angle here, and the length of this one from where this feather is in the middle here down to here is exactly 3/8. So if you came out from here, measured over here, put a dot 3/8, we're going to draw this one really comes into the center line. Here's the center line right here. Comes in, touches the center line, and it spins around. You're going to ask me, how wide is this feather? That feather is almost 1/4 of an inch wide. Okay, so I come around here, I turn, and I get this, excuse me, and I run this thing up, okay? So that's the first one. Now, the next one is going to piggyback off, but it's coming over here, and it's on the other side of the center line, and we turn, and now you're flaring out more. When you're out here, you're probably about 3/16 wide, so you're shooting out like this, but in a similar direction, and you're bringing that around. Don't get so wide in here. This here is about 1/8 of an inch wide, so you want to pull that in when you get to here. Now, and it stops right at this grouping here. Now I'm going to come in a little further over, turn the feather. See, they all encroach over this way because the feathers are laying across. Now, I'm going to come out here. I'm going to stay tight, about 1/8 of an inch apart. But when you come out this way and you come up to this grouping, you're going to be probably around 3/16 from this one to this one. And then it's going to narrow in to 1/8 of an inch by the time it pulls in there, like that. Then the next one is just going to piggyback right off of that one. This will be 1/8 of an inch between them. Keep it tight as you turn it here. This is going to shoot down almost to the wing line here, right through here. This is, it's probably just a little less, a little bit more than 1/8 of an inch, but not much. And then the last feather is going to encroach over a little bit more. They're all on the other side of the center line. And here's that wing line we made. We're going to take that and we're going to heavy that up, and that'll be that last feather in our grouping that comes up, around, and there you go. Now you got your wing line established with the feathers in place. Now we're going to go to the other side here. We got this feather in, which is this one right here, and we want to do this one now. So let's come in here. We were from here over to here, about 1/4 of an inch, and then we said this was about 3/16 wide and 3/16 long. So we're going to come around. We put from the center out 1/4. From here on the mantle line, 3/16, and that's where we start our feather. Okay, like that. Then I was telling you, all along this arc of the mantle, we want to come in off of that perpendicular about 1/4 of an inch and 1/4 of an inch. And that'll give me a chance to throw an arc out here that's paralleling this mantle, and it'll be about 1/4 of an inch out and come right back like that. Now that's going to establish us doing this feather grouping going down here. Okay, I did something here and I'm going to erase some of that out. Now, just like this, we're going to fill that in, and we come about a little bit more than 1/8 of an inch, and we piggyback right off of that one. Then we come down another 1/8 of an inch, and we want to keep the same direction of the feathering right there. And then this one, and then we do another one. We do another one. And then, remember we had this grouping in here. I was telling you from here to here is 1 inch. And then we got to get these 4 feathers in, like so. We got this one. Here's the wing edge right here. That they piggyback off of each other. And did I do that right or not? Let's just check it. 1 inch. Yep. This last one comes down like this. Okay, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4. Very same as that one. Okay. Now, this last one just turns into that one, just like we did on this side. Stops right before these guys. Now, I was telling you to make perpendicular lines, so this would be like a tangent line, so that you know what the length of this is. On this one, you got to come up to this one to create this one. Okay. Now, we're going to piggyback. We're doing the exact same thing. It's a mirror image. We're going to come down here. We're going to touch that line. And then we're going to come over 1/8 of an inch off of that one. And we're going to bring this one down like so. So that they mimic each other. Okay. Then I'm going to do it on the next one. This one piggybacks right about here and comes around. This one is sort of kicking out just a hair, and it's going around, and it's going to, yeah, I could see. Hang on. Either I didn't draw that perpendicular or what. That's something you better check yourself with. Yeah, I did not make this a good copy here. Here's the feather I was mimicking, and I put a perpendicular line. What I do is line my ruler up with the big hash mark, and at the bottom of that one, I should draw a perpendicular line going right across. And it should, I didn't do that real well. This is just reference now. So this feather kicks out this way, comes around, and then this is 1/8 of an inch off of that last feather, and it pulls in and comes around, and it touches that line. You can erase these reference lines afterwards because they don't hold anything. That's just a help for you. Now, after this, we had all of this grouping going down. We're going to do the same thing here. We're going to piggyback right off of this one right here. And that's going to come around. It's 1/8 of an inch off of this one. So we draw this 1/8 of an inch back, and we pull that in right there. So it'll look like the same on either side. Now, we go 1/8 of an inch apart. We shoot down. And you piggyback right off that last one. Then 1/8 of an inch apart. And come and we foreshorten it again, okay? It's not longer. This one's full. This one piggybacks in and gets shorter. This one piggybacks off of that one and gets shorter. It would come down another 1/8 of an inch and turn, and that gets shorter. And then what we do, a lot of times I try to, if I got space in here, I'll split it in half. And most of the time it's 1/8 of an inch. And then this last one butts right up to this group here. So now we got this side and this side the same. Now, just like with these coming across, they're crisscrossing. It's like these feathers are laying on top of these feathers. This is the top feather. These are going underneath these feathers. At least that's what we're going to try to do, okay? So it's like a cross wing feathers, okay, where they lay. The birds can pull them out. You can have a drop wing, like if you're looking at a cardinal. The cardinal's wing a lot of times drops their wing down, so it really almost comes down. You see that with robins. A lot of their wings are almost touching the ground when they're looking for worms and stuff like that. So there's a lot of birds that drop their wings. In our case, we're pulling them in tighter. So here's what I do. I come up here, similar to what we started over here on this side. For this feather coming across the center, now I'm going to come down like it's going under that feather. I stop it just as soon as I touch the feather. Now I'm going to keep the width, which I believe was 3/16. That's correct. The width of this from here to here is 3/16. So I'm going to come off of this one and I'm going to turn it right there and stop. I'm not going to, it's an illusion that that feather is going under these, okay? Now, I'm going to come down to the next feather and I want to act like each one is turning and going under these. So I'm going to come out here about 1/8 of an inch and I'm going to flare this one back and just turn it a little bit and stop right there. Then I'm going to go out even further, and the width out here is a little bit more than 1/8 of an inch. So it's a little wider in here. So watch the angle now. The angle is not the same as these up here. This is coming back this way. And then this turns and goes under like that. Then out here, it's wider. It's almost like 3/16. So I start back here at that small grouping. I pull this up. And as we come in, we get tighter and tighter and tighter to about 1/8 of an inch between. And then it turns in. And then we're going to come almost from the outer edge of the wing. We're doing about the same thing, like 3/16 out here. And as we pull up, we get tighter and tighter to about 1/8 of an inch. And then this turns right in. And then this last edge of the wing is our last feather. And this is sort of a hidden feather that just comes up and joins up here. You don't see it crisscrossing or anything like that. So that's the whole grouping. And what I'm going to show you now, we want to lift these feathers. We're actually going to undercut these, but what I'm going to ask you to do, I'm going to do a little bit of it, but I'm going to ask you to do the whole thing on your own. And I'm going to get you started. I'm going to burn, and I'm putting my optivisors on. I always wear magnifiers. It really helps me a lot. So I've got my burner here, and these are an Optima pens. I really like these, and they really do a nice job. But whatever you have, work it. I just prefer these. So what I'm going to do, and I'm going to try to show you, I'm going to burn on the line, right on the line. Now what I do is I come around and I do half a feather. Okay, I sort of go straight and then bend it. Then I'm going to do the other half. I'm going to come around and stay on my line and stop right there. Okay, now for these coming down, I'm going to start here, and then I'm going to spin right there. Okay, that's one. Then there's two. There's three. You're going to do this for all of them. You're going this acts as a big help for when we go to relieve the feathers. You're sort of making cut lines so that we could get them out a lot easier. And I'm going to just come in on the last one right there, like that. So that's that grouping. Now I'm going to come down and do these other ones. I'm going to start here. I do it halfway. Then I turn my piece. And I want to make sure I'm following my pencil line. That's one. Then I'll do the next one. Okay. Do it halfway. Come back, follow your line. Then I do the next one. Okay. You want to make sure you're on the line. Okay. And then we'll do one more here. Come in here, turn, stop, come on down here. I stop just before that feather. Now for the rest of these, they're pretty straight. So notice all of them have the same direction. Now these aren't, but these here and these here are very similar. So I'm going to come in and start my burning here. And then when I get to the end here, I just turn. Then I'm going to grab this one. And turn. Then I'll grab this one. And turn. Grab this one. Turn. And then the last one, which will be right there. Okay. Now, I have these 4 feathers here, and this is the wing line. So I'm going to start this right here. Do it halfway. And then I do the other half. Come around. And this is my wing edge. And I take this up right to where the mantle starts. Then I do this next one. Hope I'm all in my camera range because I drift a lot. Okay. I do it halfway because I feel as though I can make a good circle that way, or rounded feather. So I do that. And then here. And make sure you establish that wing line all the way down. And then there. And then there. Okay. Now, for this last grouping, you're burning here, coming across the center, you're turning, and then you're bringing it back. There you go. Now the other one started crisscrossing over the center line a little bit. That's what you're supposed to do to give the illusion that these feathers are laying on top. And I'll get this around here. Now, because there's a lot of straightaway here, I'm going to come in here and just glide this up this way and join up where I left off. Right there. Okay. Then I'm going to come over here on this one. And you can really see it moving over with the burn here. Then I'm going to come from this one, drag that right on up. And what you want to do is join up with this one. I just did the rounded edge there. Moved a little bit. Let me go back and touch that up. There we go. Now, I'm going to get one more. It's just a little curl. Get that started. I'm going to come down here, right on the wing edge, and back up. I'm leaning in this a little bit, you know, the burn. And then I want to join up with that one right here. Okay. And then my wing edge, which is here, burn this. This is the last feather. This comes up, right through here. Let me go back over that again. Then I'll turn this around. We have that one more feather that drifts over. So I'm just making a little curly cue there. And then follow my pencil line. Take your time. Don't rush it. Okay? So there's one whole side done now. Now you're going to do the same thing on this side, except these here, when you're doing it, I'll do this last one here. You're coming right up to the burn. You're stopping. The same way on this side. Each one of these feathers looks like it turns in, and when we get done, we're going to make these feathers look like they're underneath this one. So you're going to do the same exact thing over here. So I'm going to ask you if you would do that and get that all ready, and then I'm going to show you how to relieve these and then how to texture them with the burning pen, okay? And we're going to have to do some lifting. These here will be on top, so we're going to have to lower this grouping here, and there'll be a little bit of a step down along here and along here too, just a little one. In the same way here, there's just a slight rise and fall. So hope you got something out of this one, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you would, subscribe to my channel, and if you can pass the word on about my channel, I'd appreciate that too. And I'll see you on the next video, and if anybody needs anything, definitely contact me through my email, which is Rauscher, R-A-U-S-C-H-E-R, Frank, F-R-A-N-K 7 @gmail.com, and I will answer any of your questions. Or if you need my catalog, I can send that out to you. Once I receive your email, I can send it back. And if you want to talk, we can talk. I'll give you my telephone number at that time, and we can try to see what we could do as far as any of the questions you may be hung up with. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next video.